In the whirlwind of World War II, Germany's military innovations reshaped the way wars were fought. Among these, the synergy between tanks and mechanized infantry, symbolized by the Panzergrenadier, was instrumental in implementing the rapid, hard-hitting strategy of the Blitzkrieg. The Panzergrenadier evolved from earlier infantry support units integrated into panzer divisions. Initially termed Schützen or riflemen, they were renamed Panzergrenadiere in late 1942 to reflect their mechanized and elite status. These troops were designed to work closely with tanks, riding into battle aboard half-tracks or following closely in trucks or on foot when necessary. Each Panzergrenadier regiment consisted of 2 battalions equipped with a mix of vehicles, small arms, and support weapons, including mortars, anti-tank guns, and machine guns. Their mobility allowed them to keep pace with tanks, while their firepower provided essential support in operations requiring flexibility and coordination. The cornerstone of the Panzergrenadier Doctrine was combined arms warfare. These meant the seamless integration of tanks, mechanized infantry, artillery, and aircraft to achieve tactical and operational superiority. Basically, the Panzergrenadiere were the glue that held these different elements together, bridging the gap between the raw firepower of tanks and the versatility of infantry. During an attack, the Panzergrenadiere often dismounted near the front lines, while their APCs provided suppressive fire. This approach allowed infantry to clear anti-tank defenses, neutralize enemy strongpoints, and protect tanks from ambushes. Conversely, tanks shielded the infantry from heavy enemy fire and provided mobile fire support against hardened positions. On defense, the Panzergrenadiere formed a mobile reserve, counterattacking breakthroughs or reinforcing threatened sectors. Their mechanized nature meant they could respond swiftly, often catching the enemy off guard. When tanks were fighting through defensive lines or moving through landscape that provided the enemy with good cover, they needed accompanying infantry to go in first to clear the way or make a breakthrough in the enemy line so the tanks could then exploit. Thus, the Panzergrenadiere often had to fight like conventional infantrymen. Whenever tanks bypassed points or pockets of stiff enemy resistance, it was the job of the Panzergrenadiere to clear up these pockets. Although the classic image of the Panzergrenadiere is intimately associated with the Sonderkraftfahrzeug or Special Purpose Vehicle 251 half-tracked armored personnel carrier, there were never enough of these vehicles to equip the Panzergrenadier formations to full strength. The concept of carrier-borne attack into the heart of the enemy's defenses accompanying the tanks was the ideal, but the reality was somewhat more mundane. Most mechanized infantry units were transported in soft-skinned vehicles like trucks. These were very vulnerable, and thus caution was required when following tanks. Therefore, instead of driving into the midst of enemy position, the Panzergrenadiers normally left their vehicles at a forming up point or start line away from the enemy's line of sight. They then attacked in the conventional manner of infantry supporting tanks. The key tactical advantage was that because of their motorization, they could be brought into the battle as soon as they were needed. It was only at the time of Operation Barbarossa in the middle of 1941 that large numbers of 251 APCs became widely available and enough to equip full battalions of the Panzergrenadier within a panzer division. Now, the Germans could experiment with fighting directly from their APCs. Although the 251s provided decent protection against small arms fire, they only had 13 millimeters of armored plate. Thus, they became vulnerable to even the smallest caliber of anti-tank weapons and suffered accordingly. Due to heavy losses suffered amongst half-tracks when accompanying tanks into the heart of the battle, the Germans quickly resorted to leave the half-tracks at least 400 meters or so in front of enemy positions. Nonetheless, under certain tactical conditions, the half-track could provide a useful firing position. At the lowest level, the basic unit was the squad, usually about 12 men, mounted in a half-track or often a truck. The Panzergrenadier squad was led by a squad leader, usually a junior NCO, who was armed with a machine pistol and was responsible for the squad to the platoon commander. On the move, he also commanded the vehicle and fired the vehicle-mounted machine gun. His rifle-armed assistant was normally a lance corporal and could lead the half squad if it was divided. This squad contained 2 light machine gun teams, each of 2 men, 4 rifle-armed infantrymen, and the driver and co-driver. The driver was also responsible for the care of the vehicle and expected to remain with the transport. When the squad was transported by a half-track, the vehicle was mounted from the rear. The deputy squad leader was responsible for closing the door, thus he would sit towards the rear of the vehicle, and the squad leader would sit at the front. The effectiveness of the Panzergrenadier diminished, though their tactical ingenuity and bravery often compensated for any deficits. The units left a lasting mark on military tactics. Their emphasis on mobility, adaptability, and integration with armor influenced post-war mechanized infantry doctrines worldwide. Modern mechanized infantry continues to reflect many principles pioneered by these troops, from rapid deployment to combined arms tactics. Though their cause was tied to the ambitions of a destructive regime, the Panzergrenadier's military effectiveness serves as a testament to the importance of innovation, training, and teamwork in modern warfare. The Panzergrenadiere, operating in tandem with the formidable Panzers, encapsulated the essence of the Blitzkrieg: speed, coordination, and force. They were not just infantry accompanying tanks, they were a crucial element of a machine designed to reshape the battlefield. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel please and press the bell notification button. Thank you and see you in the next video.